everyone, and welcome to episode 9 of my biochemistry series. So, in this episode, we'll be talking about Avogadro's number and the mole. This is really just to prove it because we have more information than episode 22, but it's a long way off. So, we're just going to do a sort of introduction to Avogadro's number and the mole. Many atoms have equal numbers of protons and neutrons. This is true for most atoms, as it says. So there is hydrogen has 1 proton, and helium has 2 protons, 2 electrons, and electrons. We've learned all about this in the past few episodes. So that is the nucleus. But however, helium also contains 2 neutrons as well. We sort of forgot take away the neutrons in earlier episodes, but today the neutrons will also be very important. The neutrons are neutrally charged, as the name suggests. And so the helium nucleus is much larger. Copper 6 electrons, 6 protons, but also 6 neutrons. The nucleus is much larger than we used to think it was. It's much larger here. So hydrogen 1 proton, 0 neutrons. Hydrogen is the simplest atom. It's the only atom without neutrons. And it's the reason why it's very light. We'll talk about isotopes later in episode 22 as well. 6 protons, 6 neutrons. 7 protons, 7 neutrons. 8 protons, 8 neutrons. But 9 protons, 10 neutrons. That's a little bit of difference, but you can see the nucleus is much larger than we first thought it actually was. So it's 10 neutrons, 9 protons, 8 protons, 8 neutrons. So the oxygen nucleus is actually that big. Fluorine is that big. Now, one total, if you add up all of these, so go ahead and add all the number of protons and neutrons together. I'll give you a moment to add them up. Okay, so feel free to pause the video. So the answers will be here. 1 plus 0, 1. 6 plus 6, 12. 7 plus 7, 14. 8 plus 8, 16. 9 plus 10 is 19 in total. So what's Avogadro's number? So that's a picture of Avogadro. Some people say his head looks like an avocado, but it kind of sounds like an avocado, but we can forget that for now. That's a picture of Avogadro. How many atoms are in 1 gram of hydrogen? Well, 602 sextillion. Sextillion is a very large number. So here's how much. So this is hundreds, thousands places, millions places, billions, trillions, quadrillion, quintillion, and finally we have sextillion. Or we can write it in scientific notation. If any of you guys have studied algebra, you guys might have known scientific notation is where we write simple large numbers like this. I write them in simpler ways. So this is what scientists would usually use if they were dealing with super duper large numbers. So that is one thing to know about. So the scientific notation is you would move the decimal place to the left. So the decimal place is right here. So where my mouse cursor is. You want to move it so that way you can. You want to move it so that we have a number that is less than 10. And you also need to be careful how many space decimal points you move. That would be your exponent. So 1 would be an exponent of 1, exponent of 2, exponent of 3. So if you study algebra, you can skip this part. But I just for those of you who did it, here's the idea. So firstly, 1 decimal place, 2, 3, it's still over 10. 4 decimal places, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. We're still 623. So there goes 6.02. We've done 23. So 6.02 will be the number and 23 will be the exponent. It's a power of 10. So here's what it'd be like. 6.02 because we moved, and 10 to the 23 because we moved 23 decimal places. So that is scientific notation. That's one mole. It's 6.02 times 10 to the 23. What about carbon? Same thing. What about nitrogen? Same thing. What about an oxygen? Now the reason it's 16 grams is because we need to find the total. Same thing. And if it's 19 gram total, then 19 grams of fluorine is 1 mole. What's another name for the number 600 to blah blah blah, 600 to blah 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 blah? Well, the answer is a mole. If you had a mole of something, how many would you have? Pause the video feel free to pause the video. Answer 600 to 6 trillion. Question: which weighs more, a hydrogen nucleus or a carbon nucleus? Carbon. How much more? 12 times as much. Which weighs more, a mole of hydrogen or a mole of carbon? Carbon. How much more? 12 times as much. Molecular weight. How many atoms are in 1 gram of hydrogen? We just talked about 1 mole of atoms. 1 mole of atoms. How many grams of hydrogen are in 1 mole of atoms? 1 gram. How much does 1 mole of hydrogen weigh? 1 gram. How much do 2 moles of hydrogen weigh? 2 grams. How much does 1 mole of oxygen weigh? 16 grams. How much do 2 moles of hydrogen and 1 mole of oxygen weigh? 18 grams. So that's how you would add up 2 plus 16, 18 grams. And does 1 mole of water weigh? 18 grams. How much does 1 mole of hydrogen weigh? A gram. How much does 6 moles of hydrogen weigh? 6 grams. How much does 1 mole of carbon weigh? 12 grams. How much does 2 moles of carbon weigh? 12 plus 12, 24 grams. How much does 1 mole of oxygen weigh? 16. How much does 1 mole of oxygen, 2 moles of carbon, and 6 moles of hydrogen weigh? Add them all up, 46 grams, 24 plus 6 plus 16. Today is a bit of a mathy day. So this is simple addition. So just add all the single molecular weights together. How much does 1 mole of ethanol weigh? 46 grams. How much does 1 mole of sucrose weigh? This is a bit complicated. You might want to pause the video. Sucrose is a sugar base. It's table sugar. We'll talk about that more in the sugars unit. But just for now, calculate the molecular weight. There's the chemical formula. Feel free to pause the video. Well, it's 144 grams of carbon plus 22 grams of hydrogen plus 176 grams of oxygen gives us 342 grams of sucrose per mole. That's actually a lot. That's like nearly 0.3 kilos. How many alcohol groups are in sucrose? Those are the OH groups. We'll talk about more of those in the functional groups unit as again. Well, you might want to cut. There are 8 alcohol groups. As a class, we add 1 mole of sucrose if we have tons of sugar, 242 grams. Remember that. Dissolve the 1 mole of sucrose in 1 liter of warm water. Mix and wait for it to dissolve while reviewing the following slide. Why does sucrose dissolve easily in water? It contains 8 alcohol groups, all of which can form multiple hydrogen bonds with water. This is just a showing of methanol. Could the hydrocarbon like propane dissolve in water? No! Hydrocarbons have no polarized hydrogens and no lone pair electrons. Water avoids hydrocarbon molecules and hydrogen bonds only to itself, which we talked about last episode. A chemical formula is a hidden mass problem. So here are it. So 1 gram per mass, 16 12 grams per mole. 1 times 2 plus 16 times 1. 12 times 2 plus 1.6 plus 116.1 times 1. 12.12 plus 1.22 plus 16 times 11. How much does a mole of hemoglobin weigh? Now this is a little tricky. Look at the chemical form. C2932, H4724, N820, O840, S8, and Fe4. Whoa, that's an immense amount. Well, you can also think of it as iron is 56 and sulfur 32. Don't forget to check your periodic table for those. Or 12. Or you can think of it like that. Add them up. Feel free to pause the video. Add them up. And it's 35,184 plus 4,724 plus 11,592 plus 13,440 plus 256 plus 224 equals 65,420 grams per mole. That's an immense amount. 65 kilograms or 143 pounds. That's like the weight of an average adult. Moles are amounts, not masses, by the way. Not masses. Now that you should be dissolved in 1 milliliter sucrose solution and taste it. It should be too sugary. It's too sugary. Most people say it's undrinkable. It's like so much sugar. Don't drink too much because you might accidentally eat too much sugar. Dilute 1 milliliter sucrose solution by 10 times. Mix 100 ml with 900 ml of water. Taste it. This solution is closer. The sucrose concentration in drinks is closer to the sucrose concentration in drinks. Like this is what it's kind of like just between 1 mole per liter sucrose solution and the 0.1 mole liter sucrose solution. This is a nice time to have a little discussion if you're a class. So if you're the you can try this out by yourself. And last but not least, we have some homework. There's a time quiz below to complete the questions. You can also stop the video if you want to do it now, or you can take a screenshot or whatever. Just do these. We've all done this. Scenes. So how much does a mole of ethylene weigh? Alanine diamond, dozen moles of diamond. 24 gram diamond. So we've done all of this. So all of the molecules we've seen. And so calculate it. This is a homework. An optional challenge. Approximate weight. We found out the mole of hemoglobin weighs 65,000 grams. Each red blood cell contains 250,000 hemoglobin proteins, and the human body contains around 20 billion blood cells, because in 100,000 million billion. How many molecules of hemoglobin are in a typical human? Is it more or less than 1 mole? How many moles is this? Remember, a mole is 692 sextillion, or 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd. And this is the end for episode 9. We'll see you later here, and bye for now. See you later. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe. Bye and see you now. Bye.